Why do you have people inside the house?
Yeah. No, papá, no, papá. Why are you running away? Why are you running away? Why are you guys running away? And the champion yangazi. Why bebalega? Why bebalega? So sama phepha wekho. Kuning kok wrong lang. Malas po. Ay, ngaktan. Nibalekelani? Yey. Hey, Mo.
Who's closing this door?
Can we come out? Can we come out?
Why is closing the door? There's people here, but you're closing doors. What's wrong? Which one is open? This one or that one? Come that side. Tell this home security to open. There's people here, there's people who came to buy you're making them inside. Why? So open it.
Why are you closing? Open. Who is funding South African xenophobia, and why would they go to this length to fight to control South Africa? Like, that's my question. Because every time you look at an African conflict, it always seems internal until you follow the money. Right? So what happens is that they weaponize already existing internal qualms or internal concerns, like economic instability, like a lack of resources, like feeling politically and economically disenfranchised. They weaponize that, they create a figurehead or they create a populist party with a black face, with an African face, and then it looks like an internal conflict. And a lot of the funding goes even into the PR and controlling the media houses to propagate this message of African barbarism. So it has happened with conflicts in West Africa, right? Where you wonder, how? Okay, how did people fund the Biafran? Where did people even get the power to besiege and the resources to besiege Biafrans? When you look at the border conflicts in East Africa during the Cold War, it looks internal. When you look at the famines that happened, it just looks like an internal governance issue. But you follow the money, follow the money, follow the leader, follow the money. Hey. Even with the IFP and the ANC bringing it back to South Africa, it always looks like an internal conflict, and you're like, okay, it's just the Zulus and the Xhosas fighting. No. Ke mang o file batho ba senang dijo di thunya? Why batho ba senang dijo ba na le dithunya? Ko Somalia ba botsa dipotso tseo. Why motho na le dithunya a sena dijo? Okay, I don't know dithunya, and it always starts small. Like, obviously, whatever's happening in South Africa is not on the scale of all these other conflicts I have named. So I hope escalate because escalate ntwena
30 June abahambe, but before siqala malume sengidlile uphuthu ungangithumi lona. Africa, a beautiful continent, South Africa, the only place where the government only cares about ihemce and not abantu. The truth shall set you free. Sulalela mntomnyama. Asiqale. Abahambe angeke bahambe. Why? Because there is something called the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Its only job is to protect our refugees. Kanjani, they provide illegal assistance, refugees documentations, child protection, education support, nako konke lokho. Their only job is to make sure that our refugees are gcwale South Africa. Omunye umuntu uzothi zero unamanga. There is no such thing as an organization eyenza sure ukuthi i-country igcwala ama-foreigner so that i-GDP ngeke inyuke, umnotho we-country uzohlezi uphansi. Well, there is. Let's follow the money. Understand ukuthi i-UNHCR ngo-2025 it offered i-South Africa imali engango-33 million. Understand ukuthi in rands leyo mali amounted to 600 to 630 million, and leyo mali was allocated ukwenza sure that they protect our refugees. Ngo-2021 i-UNHCR in collaboration, in partnership with the Home Affairs, they pledged ukuthi bazonika South Africa u-9.6 million. That is about 270 to 180 million. All they want is that South Africa should open their borders for our refugees. Isitha they benefit from ukuthi South Africa ibe unstable. Umnotho, i-wealth yase South Africa does not need to rise because that will be dangerous for them. Understand ukuthi they contribute ekutheni ukuthi i-South Africa ivula ama-borders. Kukhona imali ekhishwayo to make sure that ama-borders ayavulwa, ama-refugees ayangena, so that ngeke siphazamise umsebenzi. According to the documents aphuma when South Africa received funding, the average funding per refugee is 48,000, and a family of 4 yama refugee is supposed to receive 192,000 per year ngonyaka. That means a South Africa refugee iyodwa is cost 131 rands, and per month kumele ngabe bathola 4,000 rands according to the documents, because imali yangena. Hlakanipha mntu omnyama and think about it. Why uRamaphosa engafuni bahambe? Why is every single politician against the idea ukuthi kumele bahambe? Befuna wena ube yi-second class citizen, because uma behamba khona imali engeke isangena, and once le mali ingeke isangena sesiphazamisa siphazamisa umsebenzi. Understand, let's follow the money, because imali ayiwaqamba manga. Refugee allocation 139.2 billion, migrants integration 25.3 billion, emergency support 6.5 billion, border security 4.7 billion, housing programs 8.9 billion. Housing programs South Africa, imagine. Understand ukuthi healthcare support 7.6 billion, education support 5.4 billion, food security 4.1 billion, administration 2.8 billion, digital systems 1.4 billion, and the climate local 5.9 billion. In total, as South Africa, we receive an amount of 229.8 billion per year for housing our refugees. And all we have to do as a South Africa is make sure it's vulama border bangene, and then we create 242,000 jobs for bona. Imsebenzi kwi construction engango 790,000, kwi healthcare engango 41,000, kwi education engango 37,000, kwi administrations engango 33,000, and kwi security engango 52,000. We promised ukuthi mangena le mali le msebenzi kumele ivuleke, and ivuleka for ba, not for South Africans, for bona. If they leave, imali yahamba. So this time it's abantu versus ama politicians. Who's gonna win? Because ama politicians are trying to protect imali, and abantu are trying to protect South Africa. Nobody knows.
Welcome again, guys, to Mzansi Daily Affairs. So I just want to make a point. And say that it's pointless at the same time for us to be united in actually chasing illegal immigrants out of their stores, right? Out of the buildings, right? I mean, it's something that must be done, but it's pointless if we as South Africans still don't love each other, because that's where it actually is. That's where it actually lies. That's what I know. That's what I've seen. Because if you look at it in this way, if you've seen, like I've seen the Ethiopian people, they've like overtaken the spaza shops. They're like, it's rare. It's almost impossible for you to actually come to a spaza shop that is actually run by a fellow South African black man. It's rare. I don't know, maybe, but around where I'm staying, it's impossible. You cannot find anyone who is black African like me running a spaza shop. These guys have slowly and successfully overtaken, and they are running this business. But I just want to say, but there was a time when there was no influx of these guys, the Ethiopian guys, who've just overtaken this industry. It was run by black people. That's what I want. That you do know that it was run by black people. So what I've noticed is a pattern that these guys are using, and this pattern that they are using with these shops is accompanied with loving their fellow brothers and sisters. Okay, they don't come with their sisters around here. I've never seen Ethiopian women operating in the spaza shop, so they come and work. So here's how it goes. These guys, what they do, or what I've noticed ever since they've opened shop, the older guy, the one who actually runs the shop here, gets to be promoted, and you would see them changing, and you'd see them building more stores, and you would see them, these guys even run their own factory, not and they run their own wholesale, where they actually go and buy the stock around where I'm staying. They have two big huge wholesales where they actually collect their own stock, and then they sell it to us, as you know. So, and I've seen these guys who like were once running the shops, maybe like let's just say a decade ago. Now that guy is running in his own car, and I don't know, he's been promoted to something. So this is how they actually get into business. They know how to build wealth. Yeah, well, they know how to build wealth. But to us, it's the crab and bucket. I think it's called the crab and bucket effect, where we're pulling each other down. But I believe that's actually happening because we were once divided. You know, we were once divided. As history books says, we were once divided as South Africans. This group goes there, this group goes there. Maybe that is why we disconnected. I don't know. I just wish we can have a conversation about that. But you can see how this thing is actually playing out. So what I'm trying to point out here my point that I'm trying to make here is the fact that even if we chase these guys away, are you going to give me that opportunity as my fellow brother and sister to actually work on a shop without any kind of animosity or jealousy attached to that? Are you going to watch me get rich? That's my question. So let's have a conversation.